Hello, my name is Max, I'm 25 years old and I have just completed a 2-week work experience placement with Cambridge University Press. So why now? Why at 25 am I doing work experience? Well, in 2018 I graduated from my Masters by Research course and I passed with commendation. If you're new here, I did my Masters and my Bachelor's in Pharmacology. If you are interested in knowing what I did for my Masters thesis, I will put a link up here because toll-like receptors are interesting. They are, I promise. But since I graduated, I have really struggled to find work, in part because I'm deafblind and disabled. Now the deafblind part is relatively new, but the disability part has been with me since I started university. Just a little bit more information on my employment and employment history. I'm self-employed, but my income isn't considered gainful self-employment. It's been kind of getting me by, but not enough, so I'm still on universal credit, and I'm employed by myself as a cat sitter, and I do PA work. PA work is 4 hours a week and cat sitting is on a freelance basis. This is not what this video is about. This video is about why you should consider a work experience placement even if you're 25 or 21 or 30 or 40. Work experience is ageless. So it's time for a change of pace, right? And that's where Cambridge University Press came in. So in May, I heard of the opportunity to go and work with them for a work experience placement and I applied for the role. I sent them my CV and my cover letter. They said they loved it, which I have never heard before. And then I interviewed for the position and was successful. I had attained a work experience placement to explore the world of academic publishing. Not everybody watching this video will be interested in publishing, but I think you should watch anyway. But for those that aren't, I am just going to start with why you should do a work experience placement at any age and any stage of your career. And then I will talk about what I actually did on placement, and hopefully, fingers crossed, the sun will come back. That would be nice, wouldn't it? So the first reason you should consider doing a work experience placement is because I found it to be intensely motivating. So I haven't had regular hours since even during my degree. My hours just kind of were dictated by the cells in my cultures. Cat sitting, they're not really scheduled hours, they're kind of flexible, or like morning and evening. I don't really have to be there at a specific time, and my PA work is also flexible depending on my client's needs. So I haven't had like a 9 to 5, or in this case a 10 to 4 job since maybe school, like secondary school. But actually having something to wake up for and the scheduled in time to get into a routine of, okay, so I concentrate for this, then I have lunch, and then I concentrate, and then I can go and do the things that I enjoy, was so intensely motivating for me to get into work, and it was good practice as well. If you are not new here, you might have seen my video on how YouTube has improved my mental health. I will put a link to that video up here as well. Similar to that, this work experience placement kind of gave me structure to my day. It was very motivating. My mental health has never been so good. And my physical health is also pretty good because I managed to get into a routine of falling asleep, sleeping enough, waking up and doing things, while also working from home, which is very accessible. I also learned so much about a new industry. I never would have considered a career in publishing from having a bachelor's and a master's in pharmacology because I was never told that that was an option. I assumed that to be in publishing you needed English, you needed to be an author, you needed to be a writer, you needed to be able to read large amounts of text. I didn't know that I could sidestep with my science qualifications and go into academic publishing. I thought it was completely separate. I was wrong, and I got to learn all of this in the space of 2 weeks while being told by people in the field themselves. I didn't have to spend hours researching and hoping for the best. I didn't have to go for an actual role to then find out that actually this isn't for me. I got a taster session of what it could be like, which was absolutely just so valuable. I also now have a new direction for where I want my career to go, or just more career options and more like a bigger, I can cast my net wider and I now have experience within the field. I also felt hugely valued at work, which I haven't for a very, very long time, because I was getting feedback on real life work that I was actually doing that was going to be used. And to get back, good job Max, good work, this is excellent work, well done, has been very helpful. Feeling valued at work is also very important for somebody's mental health, and when you've been in an unemployment dip, just a simple good work goes so far. I also got to give back and teach about accessibility and especially alt text. So I didn't realise that in the publishing industry, alt text was an emerging feature and an emerging interest. And I love you all, but not everybody knew a lot about alt text, so a lot of people wanted to talk to me about alt text, and I was so happy to be able to give back because they gave me this opportunity to learn, and now I can give them an opportunity to learn too. That doesn't just benefit them as a company, it benefits the people that use their services. So anybody that uses alt text, that's going to help them, and it's going to help my own community. This was a skill set that I didn't really know that I had. Like, I knew I could write alt text, but I didn't know that it was a marketable skill. So I learnt a lot about my own skills and what I should be marketing and what I should be leading with to help me get a job in the future. I also got tips and pointers on my CV and my cover letter, which obviously is going to help in the long run and with application forms. I'm now going to know what I can put on applications to be like, hey, hire me, I have this unique skill set that I can offer. I can improve your company in this, that, and this way. A lot of these skills are things that I already use in my hobbies and my self-employment. Furthermore, a word I haven't had to use in a video for a long, long time, I got to boost my CV. This is an actual thing that's going to go on my CV when I send it to people, and it's going to look fantastic. It's also helping me put my foot back in the door of the industry because I haven't worked in the pharmacology field since I graduated, sadly. I don't think they're going to count my Science Sunday videos as in the industry. And I have so many references now. I have so many colleagues that have messaged me and said, hey, you can use me as a reference, please keep in touch, let me know how you're doing. I'm happy to provide feedback on a CV and I'll happily be a reference. I've also built up my LinkedIn network a little bit, but also I don't really understand LinkedIn. But we're working on it. That is some of the feedback I have, is to build my LinkedIn profile. And I also have lots of written feedback that I can use for references and I can use in various aspects of my life and self-employment, as well as in my hobbies. And I have ideas and feedback on how to improve my own skills that I already have. And things like where to take a skill next is also very important. So some of you might know that I write freelance for Vocal Media, and I do have a Medium profile, but I don't really use it that much. I did some writing and they taught me how to write just a little bit better, so I can use that in my Vocal Media articles. You can check out some of those down in the description below. Wink. I can't wink, you caught me. So what did I actually do on my placement? Oh boy, I squeezed a lot in 2 weeks. So for starters, I spoke with so many different people about the work that they do, how they got there, what qualifications they have, in some cases intersectionality and things like staff networks, so like Disability Network, the LGBT network, things like that. And I took so many notes on what people do and how I can get involved with that, which is very helpful. One of the tasks I was assigned is to find potential reviewers for a book proposal, actually 2 of them, so they can move forward with the writing and publishing of the books. Then for one of the proposals, I created a tailored questionnaire so that the reviewers or potential reviewers could give a more accurate review. And then I also wrote a template email to send all the prospective reviewers so they know what the hell is going on. I wrote a blurb for the back of a maths textbook, as well as 2 other blurbs for the same book for the social media and marketing blurbs, because they are different. I learned a whole lot about different blurbs for books, which was great. And I also tailored the author bios for the same textbook as well. I talked to multiple departments about alt text and educated them on how they can provide alt text, some of the basic tips that I have, and some of the more niche tips, like deliberate misspelling. I reviewed their alt text guidance document. I provided alt text for an entire ebook on teaching English as a second language. I also provided alt text for a chapter of a different textbook. I wrote some blog posts for their World of Better Learning blog to help market their Pocket Editions series and also just give helpful and practical tips to teachers of English as a second language. I did some data entry from their website into a spreadsheet to help them create a more, let's say, modern reading list. I made a book proposal more accessible and reader-friendly, and I conducted research for some social media things. So to sum up, I did a lot, I met a lot of great people, and I learned a lot. It's been incredible. I'm not sponsored to say any of this, by the way, but with Cambridge University Press, I was actually able to lead with my disabilities as a strength. I was able to actually bring my skills of disability into the interview and not have it be like, but you say wheelchair basketball. They didn't see wheelchair basketball, they saw leadership. They didn't see deafblind, they saw, ooh, do you know anything about alt text? I was able to be my true and full authentic self, and I didn't have to water anything down as to not frighten them away, which I've never experienced before. I could be my whole package. So that's why you should do a work experience placement at any stage of your life, especially if you are struggling with employment, or if you just want to change careers. If you want to work in a different field but you're not sure how or whether you'll like it, work experience is for you. So if this video has been at all helpful for you, don't forget to give me a like. If you have any comments or questions or anything you'd like me to add, drop a comment down below, and while you're there, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and ring that notification bell so you get notified every single time I post a new video. Videos go up every Saturday at 6 PM UK time with at least one bonus video every single month. See you.